So it's painting time. I don't know about you, but I'm quite looking forward to getting some paint on this. Roll credits. Right, where I'm going to start with the painting of this is the canopy. Now, personally, spit it out. Now, personally, what I like to do is, if I can, is rather than mask the panes kind of individually in little squares, which is a little bit awkward, I like to do this is take one spar that goes up, over, and then down the other side, mask that off in one go, paint that, let that dry, take the masking off, then mask the other spars the other way, which I find is a lot easier and helps you get these lines straighter over the entire length, top and back of the cockpit. Because if you sort of put a piece of masking there to that and then you need to put another one there, you can kind of misalign them sometimes, which is why I use this method, which I think is a bit more accurate. It's a bit more time consuming, I'll admit, but we're using acrylic, it's going to go off pretty quick, and I do think it makes a slightly better job than trying to faff about masking each individual window pane. So I'll get that done, take it off and show you how it looks and what I'm talking about. Right, let's have a look at what we've got then. Touch wood, we should have a nice neat straight line up and over. Yeah, it's not brilliant, but it's a little bit awkward to mask across those curves, but that's easily tidied up. Grabbing the propeller, we don't want that, do we? Trouble is, because it's got a motor in there, I try and move it out of the way, it just flicks around to where it was to start with. Okay, and there we have it. To be fair, it does want a little bit of tidying up, that's not a problem. I'll get the rest of it done, show you what that looks like, and then we can start to think about painting the entire kit. Guess who thought it would be a good idea to use some gift set acrylics for a bit of very subtle pre-shade. As you can see, I've made a bit of a start just as a sort of test before I actually started filming, because I'm using this stuff for the very first time. So I've got some of that in the airbrush, thin down 50-50. I've just done these panels, looks good, so we'll just crack on. And at this point, let's high speed. Okay, so this Gen 2 umbral acrylic gets a thumbs up. It's took me a bit of faffing around. Turns out the last time I cleaned my airbrush, I'd not tightened up the I can show you this thing there. I'd actually left that sort of halfway out, so it really did mess up how I was spraying. So there's a lesson to us all. When you disassemble things, make sure you put them back how they were. So I'm just airbrush is out of paint now, so I'm going to leave it there and I'll carry on with this later because it is a bit late as I'm doing this. So yeah, it's not looking too bad, and we'll crack on in the next session. And we are done with the main colour. The panel lines have come up nice. It started off a bit chaotic. I've had a bit of a faff here and there spraying this on. The weather is really hot, so I think that's affecting how I'm using these acrylics. I've really thinned them down, probably a little bit extra, but it's, what is it, 22, 25-ish degrees outside, and in the house it's still just as warm. But that went pretty well. I'm happy with how it's turned out. I'm gonna leave it to fully dry. Next stage, I'll get a coat of gloss varnish over it, and then we can think about the decals and finishing. Won't that be cool? And then get them get these propellers spinning again. And now we're up to the point I've kind of been dreading with this build, the decals. There we have the kit originals. I think the last time we saw these, they were really yellowed. They've been being blasted by ultraviolet light in the window for about 2 to 3 weeks during the hottest summer we've had for a while, so they have got proper blasted. Hopefully that hasn't made them brittle, because they do look like they're getting a bit brittle. They were like that before I even started before I even stuck them in the window. So I raided the spares box, got national insignias I can hopefully use off this. I got these are from a Mosquito, as you can see. Probably not suitable, if I'm honest. They're completely different to the others. And the kit itself has been finished painted. Had a coat of gloss varnish to help the decals go on. Motors are in there. This does run, as I've actually took the battery out, so you've got no battery in there, so they won't go. So it's I'm gonna get set up for getting these on. We'll just see how we go. I might put some varnish over these to try and hold them together. Touch wood, that'll work. What I really would like to be okay is the serials, because obviously the national insignia I can now replace, not a problem, but the serials and the lettering, not so much. So I'll get set up for that, and let's just do it and see what happens. Okay, so a couple of days later, since I was last fettling around with these, and it's the moment of truth, and the moment I've been kind of dreading, if I'm going to be honest. So no further ado, there's more bits of that one falling off and cracking. It's not the end of the world, if these ones go south, because I've got those ones there I'll use, but I'm really hoping that those letters are okay. So 1, 2, 3. Maybe I should stop that curling. And it's looking a little bit promising. I've got a little bit of setting solution should I need it. I'm going to try not to use it because I really don't know what's going to happen with these. It's cracked. Yeah, it's gone right across the middle. I think this is about to shatter. Well, that's a shame. It also doesn't look good for the rest of the sheet. But that may well be still salvageable. It's gone in about, I don't know if you can see that, it's yeah, it's gone in a few places, but let's see what we can do. I'm going to let it soak a little bit longer. Oh, excuse me. Right, we'll just move. Oh, pot off of it does. Yeah, The problem is, I need to really get this right where it needs to be in one go, because it's going to be really tricky to try to move this around. So I'm going to shut up and have a go. What I'll do is I'll just pour a bit of water on that, and let's see. Come on. Contact. And we've broken. Oh, brilliant. It's gone underneath and it's kind of stuck. Right, you need to stay there. You need to come to me. Right. Okay. I mean, the box isn't a brilliant guide. It's just a rough placement. It seems to be about in the middle of that aileron. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have it middle of the aileron, touching that panel line there. Right. I don't know if you can see this, but right around the edge, it's all crinkled up. Don't quite know what to do about that. I can't really fettle this about or flat it down while it's, or can I? Whoops, just moved it a bit. Right, I'm going to leave that here and just let that settle down on its own. I didn't mess about with it anymore. I've been lucky to mess around with it as much as I have done. So we'll leave that there, let it completely set and dry out, and see what it looks like. And the good news is these decals, or transfers as you should call them for decals this age, are working and usable. So I'm going to forge ahead. I'm going for this scheme that you can't see. That's the scheme I'm going to go for. It's got a little name for the aircraft as well. I'm not going to be able to use that, unfortunately. I probably could use that one, but I haven't got another one to match it, which is a shame. But it's a 1972 kit, so we should be grateful for what we've got. Right, I did use a little bit of setting solution as well. Wasn't sure whether I could, but these, apart from cracking, they're pretty robust, so I'm okay with that. So I'm going to get the rest of the decals on, transfers, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so how did the decals go on? Bearing in mind they were from the 1970s, early 1970s, potentially a little bit shonky. Well, have a look at this. They went on absolutely perfectly. You saw the wing roundels go on. Rest of him just went on fine. The ironic part is one of the ring round, oh, that's hard to say. One of these for the underside was already damaged, so I couldn't actually use that from the off. So what I did, I replaced it with some late 90s Airfix roundels. And being late Airfix roundels, they are of course out of register. So it seems these early 70s Frog transfers are technically better than late 90s Airfix ones. But I have to say, since Airfix have proper sorted out the decals, they were like late 90s. They were just terrible, a lot of them. But yeah, I mean, I chose this scheme. It's got this little name under the cockpit there, I mean, look at that. There's no evidence of the film. I did use a little bit of setting solution. They're not quite perfect when you get right up to them, and it seems somehow this model is covered in fluff that I genuinely cannot see that from a couple of feet away. So I'll have to make sure that's gets cleaned down, because the next stage will be a coat of matte, masking off, and we're pretty much finished. And we are finished. It's had its final coat of matte. Got the masking off, pilot sitting in there all nice and cozy. Of course, we do have motors. No battery at the minute, so I'm just going to show it off. What I did with the stand, I painted it sort of brown, green and blue to kind of represent the ground and the sky underneath there. It just doesn't really make it invisible, but it was a bit of fun to do. And yes, it's got something white on it there. I can't get it off. Yeah, to be fair, I shouldn't be surprised about these frog kits, because I'd forgotten, but I have built a frog Dornier. Will not come off. Leave it. And nice kit. The decals looked a bit sketchy, but they've done the job. It's just had a bit of a rescribe and a nice paint job, and that's about it. That's the only improvements I've made. I've given it a little bit of a wash in the control surfaces, nothing too crazy. And yep, so I'm going to get some get a battery slammed in it, and let's see them props spin. So I think I've just found a potential flaw in the spin-a-prop system, and that is spinning the prop and you smack the blade off. This one still don't want to start. So I'll get that repaired and get right back to you. Check out them spinning props. Now, these motors, they're a good idea, but I think they're a little bit kind of shonky in the respect of you can't switch them on or off. You have that one. It's just took me like 10-15 minutes, flick till it actually went. That one was going from the off, so I knew there wasn't a problem with the battery. But where the battery is in between the contacts in the fuselage, there's not a lot of friction holding it in, and it can move, and all of a sudden everything stops. So it's a good idea when it works, but it is very, very fussy to actually get to work. But there you are, the Frog Spin-a-Prop Beaufighter with its spinning props. And in fact, I had a horrible feeling that when I sprayed the matte coat on, I did spray it forwards, and I was wondering if someone got through there and possibly gunged up the motor on that side. But we're running, and I'm going to leave them running for a bit. But on that note then, this is Model Kit Stuffs Classic Kit Group Build, and this is my entry, finished and whirring. Well, your failure on number 1. You see what I mean about these motors being a right faff to get going. Plus, I don't know if you've noticed, but the way they're installed, the propellers are actually spinning backwards. They should, given the pitch of the blades, they should be spinning that way, but it's not to be. And I think I'll leave it there.